Listen, September 28th, I will be supporting 100 plus strong black men, and I would love for you to do the
I want to
same.
give a shout out to my friend Freddie, Silent Heroes on IG. He's having a big event in LA, 4720 Slauson, September 28th, 100 Black Men of Excellence. He's building the community through boxing.
Barbershop Conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget September 28th. You see it. You see it. You see it. All right, we're going to have a great day, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all there. Just announced we're giving away 20 up to 20 NBA 2K games. So feel free to come on out. Clipper Darrow is going to do his live radio show from there. It's going to be a great time. We're going to show up and show out, and we're going to have a great time. So let's jump into this, man. So everyone saw Big Baby basically bow down to Eddie Hearn, compromise his integrity. It's I watched that and it jumped out at me. You know how you watch something and it's like, no. It left me, what they use the term, speechless. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Can't believe it. No way. Wow. What are you doing? He doesn't trust you. And I'm gonna tell you what I felt Saturday. That happened Friday night. Eddie Hearn probably got on a private jet, first class flight, whatever he did. Came to LA, and I interviewed him. I also interviewed Frank Smith, the CEO of Matchroom. And when you're a man, men respect men who act like men. And I saw how Eddie Hearn responded to Big Baby Miller, and how he responded in an interview, like kind of like, you know what I mean? And he said, oh, he wants to be back with us. He wants to be a part of what we're DAZN or Matchroom, whichever name he said. And then he went off, proceeded, and had a conversation with me. And there is a level of respect there that Eddie Hearn has for me. Not because I'm big, bad, and bodacious, but because I am who I say I am. You understand? And I don't care if you're on the same side of the fence, against the fence. When they either kill you or they love you. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's both. But that's the extreme you get when you are a real person. In my hood, they say real nigga, right? And that's just the truth, you know? And you can't lie in the middle of the spectrum when you have a person who believes in what they say and say what they do. You guys know the expression. And why this was so apparent is because he forgives Eddie Hearn, but still curses Deontay Wilder. And I am perplexed by that, because at the end of the day, that's his brother. And I don't know the true backstory from. I haven't interviewed Jarrell Bimel or had any private conversations about it. But I stand corrected. I actually had a conversation with Big Baby Miller in the Fox Hills Mall. He'll remember this. And just a disclaimer, I actually called Big Baby Miller today. So if you guys if you watch this video, I called his 347 number. And I don't know if that's his real, if he's changed his number since. There's 1,347 numbers. But I would love to get in contact with him. I don't have his new number, because I wanted him to speak for himself before I actually did this interview. And I actually told him in the mall. I said from a real nigga's perspective, you know what I mean? Like I didn't like that comment that you said about Deontay Wilder, because men don't talk like that. Men just don't do, you know what I mean? Men just don't talk like that about women. It's a female trait, and I'm not saying this to call out Big Baby Miller. By no means. That I don't want him stepping on me and squashing me and and beating me to smithereens. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for the greater community, and obviously Jarrell Baby Miller may watch this video. I don't know if he will or won't, but I'm just talking to him as a man. if you forgive Eddie Hearn, you must forgive um, Deontay Wilder. And use my example with Deontay Wilder. If you need it, Big Baby Miller, you guys heard it in the interview he and I did Saturday night. I picked Bermane Stiverne 1 over Deontay Wilder, right? And truth of the matter is, I worked for the Call Post, which is Don King's newspaper, and Bermane Stiverne, as you guys know, was Don King fighter. And you know what I mean? It is what I never was disrespectful towards Deontay Wilder, but you know what I mean? I was creating a narrative to support Bermane Stiverne, basically, right? And um, with that being said, Deontay Wilder could have said, I'm not fucking with this dude no more, man. He ain't, you know what I mean? And now, I have there's a level of admiration that I have for Deontay Wilder that parallels very few people in boxing, if there is any, and, but he could have said, nah, he didn't pick me against Bermane Stiverne. He's this, he's that. He judged me on my spirit. And we all sometimes, our business and or our real life takes us down a certain path where we can't see the truth, right? For me, like I used the example yesterday of, when you watch boxing, you watch double jab, right hand, left hook, jab, right hand, left hook, slip, slip, catch, catch, get back on your stick, right? That's pretty much boxing, right? That's boxing 101. That's the first thing you learn when you walk into the gym. Deontay Wilder does not do that. He doesn't do it. And I had to unlearned and relearned and new learn, those terms that they use, the educated Negroes that they use, I had to learn all this. You understand what I'm saying? And I had to look at Deontay Wilder for the greatness that he is, and I mean, he didn't hold it against me. You understand what I'm saying? And, a heavyweight at 205, fighting guys 245, 250. I was like, man, that's tough for that kid. And at the time, Deontay Wilder was a kid. This is years ago. And and he looked young, actually. He was probably 25, 26, 27. And so, and this is the truth. And I watch how Deontay Wilder move above everything. Fuck the boxing shit, right? And I said the same thing about Earl Spence, too. Fuck the boxing shit. I loved how he talked. And I listened, right? I loved how he talked. Same thing with Earl Spence when he was on the DS with Deontay Wilder in New York, and he spoke about Colin Kaepernick. The fact that they was not afraid to talk about it. I understand that people got to make business decisions and feed their families and live happily ever after. I understand that. But the fact that they wasn't afraid, you have many people in boxing who are afraid to say yes or no. You understand? I'm not throwing shade, but Andre Ward is a great example of that. No disrespect. I'm just speaking the truth. The truth is not to be offensive, but to help you offend. To help you. It's not to offend, but to keep you on the offensive, right? So he's 50-50 in a lot of his answers when people are when decisions could literally not make people happy. And truth of the matter is, so I said all that to say, if Deontay Wilder can say, nah, I'm going to judge his heart. I'm going to judge his spirit, right? He fucked up. He picked Bermane Stiverne. No big deal. You know what I mean? He didn't, he's an orthodox guy. He thinks you fight with the jab right hand and yada, yada, yada. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being true, he could have held that against me, but he didn't. And to take it a step further, I was listening to Deontay Wilder talk Sunday morning, actually. And he was talking to me, and he didn't know he was speaking like in something that was going on in my life. And you guys know it's very apparent how And I want Big Baby Miller to hear this story because I believe it's important. And I know many other people are going to hear this story, and maybe it will affect them. Deontay Wilder says something. I always listen to Perfect 10 because it's on my playlist every day. Perfect 10 by DJ Mustard and Nipsey Hussle. And he says, we have to learn how to respond, a new way to respond to disrespect. And you guys know how I've been feuding with Kenny Porter, right? And I'm sitting there listening to it, and there's no afraid bone in my body of Kenny Porter, right? And I was, truth be told, I was pushing on, right? Posting and talking and doing shit like that to entice, right? And I was listening to them speak, and I've had several other conversations with other people, and I said, you know what? Let it go, nigga. Let it go. You know what I mean? Just from a physical standpoint, I'm literally doing this video in my library. I have a library. Think about that. Put that into, like, and I don't mean that to sound like arrogant or anything like that, but life is bigger than that fucking moment, man. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, there has to be a level of forgiveness in your heart. Life is bigger than that one moment. You understand? I am a blessed individual from the aesthetic purposes, but in order for me to be a blessed person spiritually, and in order to feed my spiritual capital in currency, right? I have to omit and get rid of all that fucking shit that's like weighing you down and all that bogus shit. And I only can be transparent and honest with y'all, right? And I'm being transparent and honest with you. Big Baby Miller, if you're going to forgive Eddie Hearn, you need to forgive Deontay Wilder. Like, enough is enough, right? And then the obvious question is, Deontay Wilder. Well, I'm going to use me as the example. I'm never going to speak for another. I don't speak for other men, right? I always use myself as an example in 9 out of 10 videos, especially if I don't have a primary example. But I'm saying if he can forgive me, you know what I mean? And I know it's apples and oranges. It's not the same, right? I've never disrespected Deontay Wilder. I've never called him out his name. I've never called Jarrell Big Baby Miller out of his name, right? But at the end of the day, it has to be something in your heart to say, you know, it's not worth it. How about you just try and get the fight? You understand? And maybe that's what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to create a level of disrespect so he can get the fight. And the truth of the matter is, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Big Baby Miller. You got a lot of ties that you need to retie, because I'm gonna keep it real. I made 3 to 4, 5 texts for a couple line of communications, right, as it relates to Big Baby Miller versus Anthony Joshua. And the people who look like you were rooting for you. You know, like we were about to jump on your train, maybe short term, maybe long term for some, but we were going to root for you for Anthony Joshua. And then you popped dirty with 3 substances, and you admitted that in front of Eddie Hearn and whatever the case may be. You did all that shit. And you got a lot of repairing from you from a personal level. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to, there's no time for you to be talking about Deontay Wilder, because you know you're splitting the vote. You understand what I'm saying? And you know what I mean by splitting the vote? You can't split the black vote when 97% of black Americans voted for President Obama. Well, 97% of the boxing fans are going to vote for Deontay Wilder. You understand what I'm saying? Hating him? Listen, I'm going to tell you a secret. Jarrell Big Baby Miller, white people ain't gonna acknowledge you. White people ain't gonna respect you. Eddie Hearn don't respect you. All right, that's just a secret between you and I. All right. And at the end of the day, I think you need to reassess, because it's about long term. Play the long game, not the short game. Right? You're not in position to fight Deontay Wilder, not by any means. There's no way he would give you a voluntary defense, right? It doesn't make sense, and And honestly, why would he fight you for free when you're trying to recoup $7 million? Fighting Deontay Wilder for free in the streets, for real, will cost you $5 million in the ring. Think about that, right? If you fight Deontay Wilder in the street, there's no way you're getting the fight in real life. Because why would he bless you with that payday? I wouldn't bless you with that payday. You see the understanding? You already blew the $7 million AJ fight, and now the only other person that can bless you with $1 million upon millions of dollars is Deontay Wilder. If you challenge him in the street, I repeat, there's no way you're going to get that in the ring. And out of respect, it's admirable that he did it to Luis Ortiz. He's giving Luis Ortiz a rematch. Remember, HBO offered you a fight to fight Luis Ortiz. You turned it down, right? Because they wanted you to come in at a certain weight. As you said, I have the interview where I interviewed you. And I'm not throwing darts at you. I'm just speaking what you told me. Re-sentencing, 36 years, given issues, mandatory minimums later found. Jerry Sandusky trying to get, man, die there, motherfucker. And so I said all that to say this, man. Get your life together. And I'm saying this as a big brother, man. I was 27, laid off, and I had $7,000 in bills a month to pay, 5 to 7, somewhere in there, more closer to 7. You know what I mean? Student loans, 2 car payments, rent, med school, gas, all that good stuff, and life itself, right? It's $5,000 to $7,000 a month, no income coming in. I had to get up and hustle, you know. So, I mean, and I was at 27. It's Teacher of the Year, 27. Same year, the mayor of DeWarty honored me. I got a day named after me in DeWarty, California. You understand what I'm saying? Laid off. Seniority rules, not your talent. You know, so you got to pick yourself up by the bootstrap. We're probably the same age. That probably happened to me when it was swept under me. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel the sentiment. But at the end of the day, man, I just want you to know that's felonious shit. No one has to tell you what that looks like. It looks terrible. It looks coonish. It looks disrespectful. It looks like you want to be white. You understand what I'm saying? Like you have no integrity. That's what that looks like. You know, the man called you everything but a nigga. Basically, you know what I mean? From my perspective, you get what I'm saying? And, you know, so anyways, man, that's just what I feel. I'm about to go live, and maybe we'll talk about this in the live. But anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Peace.